1K, baby. Okay. We here now.
Welcome to the Just Bake channel. This is the channel where we
do things and say.
And I'll tell you, on this channel, we used to bake a lot more than we did. And I mean that both pie in the oven wise and smoke to the face wise. And we're here. Man, we watched this documentary, and let me tell you about this documentary. The Dangerous Rise of Contaminated Weed.
There is niggas fucking with your shit. Keep thinking you got that pure fire.
Fire, cuz.
You know, this doc was from shout out to Fat Cat.
Yes.
This was couldn't make it this time around with this one, but he
We'll
suggested
always miss you, Fat Cat.
PC. But this was the one he had recommended. He couldn't make it this week, but this was the contaminated weed, and this is overseas. It sounds like Germany maybe.
Yeah,
it sounds like a German dialect that the gentleman.
They talking about euros.
Talking about euros and sprechen Sie Deutsch. Speaking a little German out that piece. Yeah, man, there's some contaminated weed going on out there, and he said he had a guilty conscience, so he had to set himself free.
Yeah, so this documentary was about this gentleman Banks, not his real name. Lloyd, not his real name, as they had said to us, but this gentleman is selling weed out on these streets and is talking about how now the weed is being contaminated. What they're doing, basically, what they're saying is they get the okay weed, they get the weed that doesn't really hit like that, and basically they're spraying the spice on it. You guys remember how everybody used to be losing their fucking mind because they would buy that gas station and gas station weed that wasn't weed, and it always said, a million things, do not smoke this shit. People would smoke it, lose their fucking mind. So they're taking, the K2 joints. What they're doing is they're taking more of the weed with the CBD or just not as strong weed, spraying the K2, spraying the spice on top of it. You got something different, and people are so trusting of where they get their drugs from, right? They're just like, man, I ain't eating McDonald's. That shit is crazy. Oh, you have, some green weed in a fucking plastic bag that you just took out from the boot of your car? Yeah.
I trust
Give
you.
me all of it. I'll inhale it into my body. No problem.
It is crazy because if you think about it, man, I don't think I've ever got weed from a nigga I couldn't truly trust. Because you're not, in a sense, I trust them, but you don't know where that weed's coming from, man. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say that you could or couldn't truly trust?
Because
I've definitely gotten weed from people that I could not trust.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That I couldn't truly trust.
Okay,
It's like
okay,
I couldn't trust them, but here I am buying this shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't trust the niggas, but I'm still buying it because it was a risk factor you take with buying this shit.
Yes.
But watching this kind of documentary is like, I think it's because weed is such a push forward as a daily use, kind of like beer. It's gonna be an alcohol kind of treatment soon, where it's just gonna be you buy them in a vending machine somewhere, or you're gonna buy, It's gonna be pot bars, and which they already have in places where it's legal, so it's already making that ground. But like as far as everybody's doing it, I feel like it's going there, and with such, so when you get that as a big demand, everybody's trying to do it. You know what I mean? When pagers were hot back in the 90s, there were niggas making pager cases because they thought they were gonna be millionaires. You know what I'm saying? It's like what you do to get to that level, but they were cutting this shit, man. This is stepped on grass, man.
Yeah. Yep, stepped on grass and now they're talking about how, how everybody says, which first off is bullshit besides the K2 and the fucking spice type shit that they're putting on it. Everyone has heard this lie. Dude, it's not, you can't even get addicted to weed. Bro, I've met people who we're not doing anything until, what I'm saying? Like that.
I can't function without. That's an addiction.
Yeah.
An addiction. Coffee. Some people can't function without coffee. You're addicted to coffee. There's caffeine in there. There's something in it that's pulling you, that addiction to it.
And now for me, like, by no means do I not like weed, but for me, it's a thing of the people that stand up for it too much, to where they try to make it a super thing. Like me, I got my medical marijuana card, and not a day in my life have I been using it as medicine. It's never been a medicine for me. It doesn't work like medicine for me. I recently put it down, probably like 2 months, but I was just getting high the entire time. Like, there was never a time where I'm like, oh, I'm just medicating myself. No, I was getting fucking ooted. Then that's it. There was zero times where I was like, oh, I'm taking my medicine.
But you know what? On the flip side, I can say I do get some usage out of it. Because for me personally, I have a arthritic hip that kind of, I'm bone on bone right now, and I'm grinding. And it's like, it's it doesn't take it all. It's not gonna last as long as a pill.
Takes the edge off.
Right. It's not gonna last as long as a pill, but there's a certain comfort that comes in because the body does relax. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying there's no medicinal uses to it. There's plenty of medicinal uses to it.
But
I'm just saying
run with the whole,
there's too many people
it's all
bullshit.
medicine.
There's too many people playing pretend.
The recreational people are trying to run medicine. And
exactly.
Like, if you've always been a rec user, like I've always been a rec user before, like I'm using it now more as medicine, but before that I quit for some years.
Yep.
And before I quit, I was a recreational. It was no medicine for me. It was like, I like to get high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I'm smoking. It's the feeling, my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'd write some shit, you know, musically. Maybe I went somewhere differently. But then you realize you can do that without that. And it was always there.
Yeah. For me, I was diagnosed with PTSD, so I wanted to try to use it for. I had panic attacks, and I wanted to use it for anti-anxiety. Let me tell you, when I went in there to have meetings with after my doctor gave me the card. Give me the ability to sign up for the card, and you got to pay for the card and all that other shit. But anytime I would go into any dispensary that I had been to, and you want to have that first visit, and you have that, you talk with the doctor and sit down and, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This
what do you got,
bro? Zero help ever. It was never and anything that they ever pointed me in the direction of never helped with anxiety at all. And it could just be me. I'm not saying that this is true for everybody, but for me. None of that shit ever helped me with anxiety.
And it's true, man. I always feel like you know when you think about those things, it goes into that. Just like you said, it's the person how it affects them. Because it's like the same exact weed is gonna affect somebody differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I could smoke with somebody that I had in the past, and like they're freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, yo, this shit ain't. Why are you freaking? This shit ain't even that fire, cuz it's not even that much gas. Like, what are we doing right now? Why are you running around the room like you're on fire, nigga? Like it's not that potent, but that's how it affects me. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know with me, a side effect, you know, it's, you know, the laziness, you know what I mean? For anybody to say, no, it is, like, it can get you there. You know, like, there's people like, you know, I know, love you, Mom, but, you know, she's different than me. You know, she can get motivation to, like, clean and stuff. Like, I never really kind of had, like, people can. Like, you know what I mean? I know you said sometimes you can get energetic with things. Like, I never really got that way. I feel like my thing was always smoke my down, like I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some things that I feel like were more of an upper high, but that's more head high, and I probably get more laughy and silly. You know what I'm saying? But I've never like I'm gonna smoke this blunt and I'm gonna build a house.
Because
like,
for me,
it doesn't come together that way. You know?
For me, indica or sativa or the hybrid, no matter what I've smoked before, it makes my mind go. That's the thing for me. It always, and I was looking for something to calm my mind. Like I wanted give me the drug that makes me stupid because that's what I want. And like, you know, I'd like it to wear off and I'd like to have my thoughts again.
Right.
Literally, you can even tell in how fast I fucking speak. Right. I just wanted to, just give me because I'm high strung, you know? And that's what I wanted is like, no, give me the downer and no matter what believe me, I had it for like 2.5 fucking years, and I still have it. I'm just not going to re-up it, but I went through the gambit. And the other thing about when you buy weed too is when you buy that $60 fucking eighth, you can't go home, smoke a joint, and be like, yo, I'll be honest, I didn't really like. No, you bought that.
It's yours.
It's yours.
You just don't get that strand.
The world in the palm of your hand. It's yours.
To come back, we'll get you another strand. No.
Double LP for Wu-Tang Clan. It's yours. That's what, you know what I'm saying? The seed and the black woman. It's yours. There's no trying out. And I'll be honest with you, because 99% of the fucking people, and of course my numbers are off, that go in there are not going in there to fucking help themselves. They're going in there because, bro, in the waiting room.
It's a way to get legal weed.
I can't explain to you in the waiting room how many comes. Can you believe this, man? Can you believe? And I'm like, yeah. No, I'm here to actually. I
wanted to get the medicine out of it.
Yeah.
But you know, people get into that. The excitement, like I said, my mother got excited when it first became like legal like that because you know she's been a pro advocate for.
And I think it should be legal. Please don't get me wrong. I think it should be legal.
It's like the being pro for weed, and then it's like it finally happened. Like, is it here?
Yep.
It's like, does it change the fact of what we're doing? We've been getting high anyways. Like, I didn't go to jail for a long time. Neither did you. Over weed, unless you're trying to push a lot of it. You know
and there is a percentage out there, right? There's a percentage out there, but I can't imagine that it's a fucking ridiculous percentage of people that are not smoking weed because it's not legal. You know what I'm saying? There's a percentage of people that would try it if it does become completely recreational at some point, but it's not going to change that much.
When they know there's no, you know, repercussions for that actions, they'll get involved.
And one of the things I think is going to be interesting too, if it does become legal, and I promise we will get to this documentary because we touched on it, but we're going to touch back again. But it's just about the marijuana in general and how people are spiking it. Weed is going to be a tough one because if I'm drinking alcohol sitting here, if I take a shot by myself, it can't affect you. It won't affect you. If I'm sitting here puffing and blowing that shit in your face, that can affect. So that's going to be a weird one too. You know what I'm saying?
Secondhand smoke thing. Yeah. I mean, shit. People argued about fucking cigarette smoke. I mean, you can't do it in buildings, but it's going to be. Yeah. You're going to be able to get it. You're
but because
get the same charges if you get caught with it.
Because same thing. If when people come over to my house, I allow them to smoke. I don't mind. I still get a small, you know what I mean? Like there's definitely
it's in the air. I mean, before when I wasn't smoking, I used to go to my brother's house, and then that's a smokehouse, and I still was like, I'm high as fuck, and why? Because I'm not even smoking. Yep. And my throat is burning. Yeah. I was smoking. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're just in it.
You're in it, man. You're inhaling. You're getting it, and if my throat is burning, it's because you think I'm throat is burning from not inhaling this shit and getting high. Yeah, it's happening, especially when it's blunt at the blunt. Because like on a football Sunday, we usually go hang out and shit, and get a handful of people, and it's going down. So everybody's brought some or two, and it's, and it's like, me, like I enjoy it, but there's always a time now, like I feel like you can only get so high. You know what I mean? It's like at that point you're just kind of just really just burning your throat. You're burning your way through it. It's like you get that head high, boom. I clip shit out. I'm good right now. You know what I mean? My hips a little loose. I can move around a little bit swifter. But it's not gonna last forever. You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? It's not gonna last as long as a fucking OxyContin. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different kind of.
And the other thing too, I wish that there was almost a thing of where if there would be the marijuana type of thing where, all right, my hip hurts. I wish I could just smoke it, take it, whatever. Whereas like then that's what it would do. Like say if you take Tylenol, whatever, something like that. If your pain isn't strong enough and the Tylenol can deal with it. Right. If you take a Tylenol, what happens is that then just that pain is gone. You're also not fucking high and lazy and weird. You know what I'm saying? Like. So that's where kind of like the side effects of weed, if you will, which are just the effects,
right?
Were supposed to be didn't work for me in my lifestyle.
Right. See, and you tapped in more to the CBD stuff when you were doing it too, which I never really get all CBD because I'm not in the that world where I can pick. It's like, what you got, nigga? All right, let me get that one. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you got? And then now
you're still getting it from Banks,
right? Still getting it from the Banksy niggas that. He got it from somewhere else that maybe he didn't spray the spice on it, but he might be getting it from somebody that got the spice on it. You know what I'm saying?
It might have been spiced 2 weeks ago.
Because I'm seeing some underground worlds where I've been in. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but there's everybody's got it right now. It's like these guys.
And everybody's got that name.
Right. It's like everybody's got Mango Kush. Like that's funny. Mango Kush was in this documentary, and I've had some of that not too long ago. Yeah. So it's like, I gotta pump these niggas and start asking questions. Well,
I'll tell you too, I was getting paranoid because in this documentary they're talking about whoever is growing it, and what I like is a lot of people were talking about how you think this is just some like fucking hippies down the street that got a couple of plants. Like, no, these are operations. These are businesses that people are doing. Right. This is bigger than hip hop. Listen.
This is bigger than nigga. Bigger than hip hop.
Because for me, there were definitely times where I'm like, I'm smoking weed that the government is growing and selling to me. This isn't. I don't like this.
I shouldn't trust you.
Because you know what how I broke it down? All right. Think about government cheese. That's probably the worst fucking cheese you would ever get in your fucking life.
Or the best, depending on what you're trying to make.
I mean, we got Charlie Murphy talking about melting it with a fucking lighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... So,
it's not good cheese.
And I'm not saying, that the weed is bad because of that, but I'm like, man, I don't know. I just...
Right. McDonald's is no longer using cows anymore. We don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, I don't think they can
Is Taco Bell horse meat? What the fuck?
I know. I don't think that McDonald's can keep up with slaughtering that many. If you're over 1 billion served in the world...
There's some filler.
Right. If you're over 1 billion served, that means you got to have like fucking 10 billion fucking cows to be killing.
Yep.
On a fucking daily basis almost. You know what I'm
saying?
Well,
and I'll tell you, I understand why people go back to the streets for all this type of stuff because it's not something I'm personally doing. I'm, taking a sabbatical. But never have I ever been able to go to the dispensary and get the same thing consistently. Right. Because they don't have enough product. It's always selling out, and then they always you want to? Well, we have something like it. It's like, yo, listen, if I want to go and get a fucking Dr. Pepper, what I want is a fucking Dr. Pepper. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is Mr. Pip.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want Mr. Pibb. Don't give me that Dr. Thunder. You know what I'm saying?
Jolt, nigga.
Exactly. That's not what I fucking want.
Right. Oh,
so
man.
it's a tough situation. But yeah, man, over in Germany and other countries like that, they're talking about how we were saying people say, oh, I'm not addicted. They're talking about they're spraying this extra layer on top that the people are addicted and they don't even know what they're addicted to.
Right.
Rest in peace to DMX. He got tricked into smoking some shit. He was addicted the rest of his life.
Yeah, shit. I know. It's a chase that they don't even know why they're chasing, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that fucked me up. And he's like, yeah, they just get addicted to this chemical, and they think it's like a really good, high that they're getting from the weed, and that's what they don't even know what they want.
Exactly.
It's like I'm just buying weed. I don't even know why I'm getting it. Because
and then in this documentary, he was saying when he would just sell people just weed, just as Cat Williams would say, regular weed. When he would sell them the regular stuff, nah, man, this shit isn't strong enough. This shit isn't hitting like it is. So they've become addicts and they don't even know it because they don't even. Once again, they don't even know what they're smoking.
Getting that gas. They're really getting fucking
that spice.
They're getting that spice. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of Salt Bay on that motherfucker fucking you up, and that's But he was going around kind of he was the gentleman that was starting it. He was having an epiphany in his life and a conscience coming about him that he said he felt bad about what's going on. He's still making his money through this documentary.
Yeah. He's planning on getting out the game.
He wants to get out, right. But he's like, it's hard when you're making money like that. You know what I mean? It's like the guy's making money, man.
He's making 10,000 euros a week, which
that's a little more. That's more than the U.S. So that's probably like 12 grand or something, 12, 13 grand. You make it at a week, man. Like, convince that man to stop and go get a regular job or something.
And it's, I mean, I give him kudos because he at least has a conscience where he's saying, like, man, I know I'm fucking people up. And that's got to be tough, too, how, different battle rappers and shit have bragged about selling crack to their own mother, stuff like that, where you're like, yeah, that takes some,
it takes a lot to really be able to profit off of somebody's misery, man.
Because the thing, too, where if you are just selling weed to people, right? I'm not mad at anyone for doing that because, listen, you're selling somebody a product that they want, and overall, weed is relatively harmless. Like, of course, there's people have the debate about people have the debate about smoking weed, and man, does it really hurt your lungs? There's all those debates out there, but of course, same shit with alcohol. If you're selling somebody something that they want, and it's, I would just say, not that bad for that. Like, I don't know.
It's not all end.
I'm not mad at that, but if you're selling somebody fucking crack, you got to have less of a conscience.
Too much alcohol, you're definitely going to get alcohol poisoning and die. Too much weed, you're probably just going to sleep it off. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but the other thing too, man, especially with those edibles.
Or pass out. Yeah,
the edibles, man.
People get their stomachs pumped and shit. Now, the edibles are no
joke, because people have gone through like psychotic breaks over that shit. Like,
and I feel like they're taking weed. What I don't like about it,
taking it to another level.
They are. I think weed has its purest form, and they're trying to get the most out of this plant that's been a certain way the whole time. Where it's like certain strands we had when I was younger. It's like, what happened to hydro? Is that just not around?
Yeah.
Dro was the thing. You know what I mean? Beef and broccoli, son. Go get that dro and that chocolate. Niggas just don't grow that shit no more. People just don't grow that shit no more. And now it's all this other shit where there's no seeds in it. Or if you get seeds, you're lucky, and it's hydroponics kind of grown. But it's like,
well, that was one of my problems too, is because how I've talked to you before about, drinking and everything like that. I like to get a buzz. Same thing with smoking. I like to get a buzz. I'm not trying to go to the fucking moon. Shout out to Dogecoin. Doge to the moon. I'm not trying to go to the fucking moon, just like I'm not trying to get fucking blackout drunk.
Right.
And I didn't seem to have that option. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I got more into the low dose edibles. Those were all right, but it just, man, it didn't hit like I want. Much like the Mortal Kombat movie that I've heard explained, it didn't hit like I wanted it.
It didn't hit how you wanted to? I hyped that one up to you. I thought it hit for me because nobody.
Oh, no, I didn't watch it. It was just that's what I've heard from a lot of people. Where they said there were good parts, but then
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people when I seen that, off topic here, but when I saw that movie was people that were really into the game. You know what I'm saying? And they started critiquing their characters and what they really did and didn't do. And
it's like the cats that read a comic book for something and they're like, but it wasn't like that.
The Batman vs Superman movie was a big one with that. It was like, my biggest gripe was the niggas like that. You had moms with the same name.
Yeah.
That was corny. That bridge was corny to them. Their bridge of peace was corny. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a. bougie way. But.
So what I think is corny is you got cats that want weed, and instead you dump some shit on top of it and sell that to them, and now you got them addicted to something else, and you got them really hooked. And man, we've seen what that spice shit does, man. That's the shit that you wonder why motherfuckers are naked in the middle of the street, running down the street with a fucking machete, talking about no.
Right. It's like
whoa.
they fucking took the same ingredients in Ajax and put it in your weed, man. Some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're putting some weird roach spray type shit. Like that was the shit back in the day. You know, that was the big thing. You know, the guys used to pump their weed up with roach spray. They really did that. They sprayed it on the weed to get that extra fucking, oomph. It's a chemical. There's shit in there that's fucking you up.
No, man.
So you really can't trust weed out there.
Yeah, like I wouldn't try to dissuade anybody from smoking weed. I'm not saying like, oh my God, all weed is crazy. But I will say, you don't know where this shit is coming from. And I thought this was a great, even though this is a quick 15-minute documentary, our review of the documentary is longer than the fucking documentary. Right. But I'll say, man, it definitely will open your eyes to, hey, you don't know where this shit is coming from. You don't know what somebody is doing before. Listen, motherfuckers will buy a soda can and not even wipe off the top of it before cranking it and drinking it.
Right.
Motherfuckers do not worry about what's in that bag of green that they got, man. And I think like, more people should.
Well, yeah, and it is because weed becomes such a trusted drug, that we just trust that, hey, man, it's weed, man. It ain't gonna do nothing. But when they're fucking doing shit like this to it, yeah, maybe it will do something. You know what I'm saying? People start getting fucked up and they don't understand why. It's like, yo, maybe the guy you've been buying from the whole time is the mainstream plug to the guy who's spraying fucking bullshit on you, spice all over your damn weed.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough, man. Like, I almost want to get a bag of reg. Just like, let's just see if it still hits the same,
That was the shit for me where when I had started smoking and going to the dispensaries and shit, I was like, I want that old thing back. You know what I mean? I don't want the fucking.
Niggas got nickel bags.
Like I said, I didn't need the moonshot weed. I didn't need because that's what I was saying too, where I felt like I was one of the rare patients that was in there where it's like, I'm not trying to get high. I would like help for what I'm doing. Like what I explained to them plenty of times where I'm like, Xanax does the best thing in the world to me. It makes me calm and I feel normal. Like, I feel like I am normal when I take a Xanax. And I was like, I would like the weed version of Xanax, please. And
the point one out, and it's not it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's never it.
Never it. This is the one right here you need, guy. Like, no. It's not, that feeling's just never going to get captured.
Yeah.
Dose responsibly is all we're really saying. Dose responsibly in these streets because.
And I would just say, try to know who you're getting this shit from as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Try not to have too many different people you fuck around with. There's still genuine growers because it's a big thing right now. It's popular, so everybody's a grower now. You know what I'm saying? People are growing. I'm running into a lot of these people that they're on such a wave of either growing. I would hope they're not doing shit like that, but. They're making money because people aren't fucking with them like that.
True.
It's not. There's not a whole shitload of helicopters with thermal cams. You know what I'm saying?
And that's true, man. That the almighty dollar really does get placed above anything else. With hey, man, people are buying it. Fuck it.
Fuck it. Stepped on, crushed. Who gives a fuck? They buy it. I sell it. They die. They should have thought about the decisions in their life. That's that mindset of somebody. And the guy in this documentary, Banks.
Never really made
he
it
didn't
up.
Really, he didn't really want to. But he said most of those guys that get fucking pinched and knocked anyways. And, that was the interesting one when he mentioned. He said, usually it's over a female. Which is always funny to me. It's like, oh, yeah, because, you invite her into your life, into what you're doing. And now you do her wrong. You start, you got money and shit. You probably get women. You fucking cheating on her. She's like, oh, motherfucker, okay.
And he was even saying over in Germany and countries such as that, a lot of people, he said, unless you're graduating to cocaine, you're really not getting knocked for weed.
Right.
So that was another interesting
thing. He's like, they
too.
don't really care. So, they don't care and there's money to be made. You get more people trying to sell shit, man. You're like, they ain't really fucking with nobody. Let's make this money. But how can we beat the competition? We're going to spray some shit on it. You know what I'm saying?
Spray that.
You know what I mean? And they're going to be like, yo, this shit is fire. This is that gas. No, nigga, it's real gas they putting on that shit.
Right? Exactly. I remember definitely back in the day buying shit where you're like, yo, somebody definitely sprayed like cologne on his bag.
Some of the weed now be having funny smells. Like, some of it's just like, I'm like, are you stashing it in something? You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple times I had some that had a... mesquite smell to it. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, what in the fucking hickory chips is going on in this motherfucker? Like, I'm smelling like, what are you stashing? It's like I feel like there's something stashed in. A lot of times it's like that's how people got you. I got the orange, Florida orange punch.
I remember that back in the day, putting orange peels in my weed.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's like, yo, this shit's like you got that orange mango popping shit. Like, no, nigga, you put orange peels in the bag to give it that citrusy to either throw off the dogs or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, or fluff up the scent of the actual weed. You know what I mean, to make it seem like it's something better than it really was.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, but.
Two off the dogs.
The dogs, man. It's not a favor. Shout out, by the way, to my man, Dr. Flock.
Doc Flock.
Dr. Flock got a brand out called Loyalty Ain't a Favor. Let that go with you in your mindset into that weed world, all right? These niggas don't need to be loyal to, so don't trust everybody. You know what I'm saying?
These hoes ain't loyal neither.
These hoes ain't loyal. Loyalty ain't a favor. Dr. Flock, I see you. Yo, watch this doc, man.
Yeah.
Get in tune with what can be going on. This is in Germany. If you're in Germany, be aware because this nigga's on the front lines telling you information.
Stone Cold Steve Austin said, "Don't trust anybody."
Still knows 316 that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
But until next time, this is Just Bake Channel where we
do things in